Way 88 talks about titration, which is the process of determining the concentration of an unknown solution using a known concentration and a known volume of another substance. Now you remember that acids and bases will react so that they neutralize each other. Basically, that happens when the number of hydrogen ions of an acid equals the number of hydroxide ions in a base. And the only way for that to happen is if the moles are the same. Now you remember from the molarity equation that moles is equal to molarity times volume. So if you use the formula MA times VA equals MB times VB, you can easily figure out what the unknown concentration of an acid or a base is when you're given the three other variables within a solution. So you're going to use this equation throughout these titration problems, and I'll show you how it's done. First question, which laboratory process is used to determine the concentration of one solution by using the volume of another solution of known concentration? If you said titration, you got it correct, and this has to do with the definition of titration. You're trying to determine the concentration of one solution using the volume of another solution with a specific concentration. Which statement explains why 10 milliliters of 0.5 molar H2SO4 solution exactly neutralizes 5 milliliters of 2 molar sodium hydroxide solution? If you remember, the only way an acid and a base are going to neutralize each other is if the amounts are the same. Basically, the number of hydrogen ions and the number of hydroxide ions have to be equal. So the only way that happens is if the moles of protons equals the moles of hydroxide. So answer choice 1 is correct. Now let's move on to some actual problems. What is the volume of 0.3 molar NaOH needed to completely neutralize 15 milliliters of 0.8 molar HCl? For these problems, think about what's provided. Here you're given 0.3 molar NaOH. Now NaOH you can confirm from table K and L that is a base. So this is Mb, and here you're given 15 milliliters of 0.8 molar HCl. HCl is an acid, so here you're given Ma and Va, the volume in milliliters of the acid. So all you have to do is plug in the volume of the acid and molarity of the acid in order to figure out the correct volume of base. Doing so will get you 0.3 times x equals 15 times 0.8. Solve for x, and then you get x is equal to 40 milliliters. So answer choice 4 is correct. Determine the volume of 2 molar HCl solution required to completely neutralize 20 milliliters of 1 molar NaOH solution. Here, 2 molar HCl corresponds to the molarity of the acid. HCl is a well-known acid. 20 milliliters is the volume of base, and NaOH corresponds to 1 molar NaOH corresponds to Mb, the molarity of the base. So you know Mb, Vb, and Va. To solve for Ma, you just plug in the following into the formula, and you get x is equal to 10 milliliters. Which volume of 2 molar NaOH is needed to completely neutralize 24 milliliters of 1 molar HCl? So think about what's provided in this problem, what each of these variables represent, and think about how you would solve for the unknown. Here, NaOH is the base, HCl is the acid, and you're given the molarity of the base, so Mb, and you're given the volume of the acid as well as the molarity of the acid. So here is Va and Ma. So you're solving for Mb. In order to solve for Mb, you just plug in the following into the formula, and you get 12 milliliters. Okay, so when it comes to titration, remember that it's a way of determining the concentration of some unknown solution given a specified volume and known concentration of another solution. Typically, an acid and base are being neutralized with one another, and the only way that occurs is if the amount of acid is equal to the amount of base. Basically, the moles of hydrogen ions equals the moles of hydroxide. Thank you for watching.